I caught my cheating wife when her work husband showed up at our house by mistake. You ever have one of those moments where your whole life flips upside down in under 10 seconds? Where a single knock on your front door destroys years of trust, love, and everything you thought was real? Because that's exactly what happened to me. When the man my wife called her work husband accidentally showed up at our house instead of hers and exposed everything. I didn't find texts. I didn't find lipstick stains. I didn't even find suspicious receipts. No, he literally walked right into my front yard, holding flowers meant for my wife. And that was the moment I realized the woman I married wasn't the woman I thought she was. This is the story of how I caught my cheating wife, how I exposed her, and how karma did the rest. It started innocently, or so I thought. My name is Mark, I'm 34, and I live in Colorado. Been married for 5 years, or at least I was. My wife, let's call her Grace, worked at a large insurance company downtown. Busy life, lots of corporate events, team dinners, late nights, you get the idea. A few months back, she started talking a lot about some guy at work. Not in a weird way at first. Just casual mentions. Oh, my work partner grabbed lunch for the team. He helped me with this project. He's hilarious, you'd like him. I didn't think much of it until one day she said something that made my stomach twist. He's kind of like my work husband, you know, we just click. She laughed after she said it, but something in her eyes told me she meant it more than she admitted. I tried to brush it off. I trusted her. Or at least, I wanted to. But then came the phone habits. Face down, always locked, silent mode 24/7, and this new thing where she'd take calls outside on the porch, because the connection is better. Right. And then the late nights started. Once a week. Then twice. Then suddenly, 3 to 4 times a week she was helping with a major project. You know how you can feel a lie even before you confirm it? That was me. But I wasn't expecting the truth to show up on my doorstep with a bouquet of roses. The day everything shattered. This happened on a Thursday evening. Grace had told me she'd be working late, again. I didn't argue, I didn't question. I was saving my suspicion for the right moment. I was in the living room, heating leftover chili, watching some documentary, just trying to decompress. Then, a soft knock on the door. Not the kind neighbors make. Not the heavy knock of a delivery driver. It was the gentle kind you make when you don't want to disturb someone you care about. I opened the door, and standing there is a guy about 35, dressed nicely, holding a dozen roses and a small gift bag. He looks nervous, almost excited. He blurts out, "Is Grace ready?" I froze. He tried again, smiling this big, hopeful smile. "She told me to pick her up here since we're closer to the restaurant than your place." Your place. Your place. That's when it clicked. The man standing in front of me. The flowers. The gift bag. The nerves. The restaurant. He wasn't a co-worker. He wasn't a friend. He wasn't anything innocent. He was the guy my wife was cheating with. And worst of all, he thought this was his night with her. At my house. I felt my jaw clench. He must have noticed something was off, because he suddenly stepped back slightly. "Oh, sorry man," I thought. I cut him off. "You thought what?" I said quietly, calmly, too calmly. "Thought you were picking her up, thought this was her place, thought she lived alone." His face drained of color. "Wait, are you her husband?" The silence said enough. He broke before I even did. "I swear, man, she told me she was divorced. She told me she lived alone. She told me you were out of the picture." He stopped himself because he realized he just confessed to everything. Everything. And that was all I needed. Exposing the lies. I invited him inside. Not because I felt generous, but because I wanted answers. He hesitated, then stepped in, shoulders slumped, guilt dripping off him. We sat at the dining table. I asked him questions. He answered all of them. They'd been seeing each other for 6 months. She told him she lived alone. She told him I was some controlling ex who wouldn't leave her alone. She told him she was rebuilding her life and needed support. He paid her dinners, bought her gifts, picked her up after work, dropped her off before she went home. And now he came to surprise her for their planned night together. At my house, he kept apologizing, I mean genuinely apologizing. He wasn't some arrogant jerk, just a guy who got manipulated by the same woman who manipulated me. I wasn't angry at him. I was angry at her. And I knew exactly what I was going to do next. The perfect revenge plan. Grace texted me around 8 p.m. Going to be late tonight, order food without me read. I showed the guy. He shook his head in disbelief. I asked him a question that flipped the whole situation. You want revenge too? He didn't even hesitate. Yes. So we made a plan. A plan that would end her lies, expose everything, and give karma the stage it deserved. Here what we did. 1. I asked him to stay in my house. 2. I waited until she said she was leaving work in 10. 3. I set up my phone, recording in the living room. 4. I sat on the couch calmly. 5. He hid in the hallway, unseen. When she walked in, dressed up, hair curled, perfume heavy, I knew instantly she wasn't coming home from work. She froze when she saw me. Oh, I didn't think you'd be up, she said, pretending to stretch and fake yawn like she was so tired. That's when I said, someone came looking for you. Her face turned white, dead white. Who? I looked at the hallway. Come on out. He stepped forward. Her knees almost buckled. The explosion. You told me you lived alone, he said quietly. You told me he was your ex. She started crying instantly. Not the remorseful cry. The panicked, caught in a lie cry. Mark, I can explain. I didn't mean. It wasn't. I interrupted her with the calmest voice I've ever managed in my life. Save it, I recorded everything tonight. Both of you. Every confession. Every detail. She gasped, covering her mouth. This marriage is over, I said. You can pack your things tonight, or I can hand this video to your company, your choice. She crumbled, begged, sobbed, tried the whole manipulation routine. But I didn't flinch. The other guy didn't either. He finally added, I'm done with you too, find someone else to lie to. Karma arrives right on time. She moved out the next day. Tried to fight the divorce at first. Then backed off when my lawyer showed her the footage and evidence. And karma. Oh, karma was beautiful. Because guess what? Her work husband didn't stay quiet. He told HR everything. About the affair. About the lies. About the misuse of company time and resources. She got fired 2 weeks later. And the guy she cheated with found someone new within a month. Meanwhile, she ended up renting a single-bedroom apartment and posting vague, healing quotes online. I didn't say a word. Didn't respond. Didn't engage. The silence was my revenge. My new life. I kept the house. Got full control of our accounts. Rebuilt my peace. Started hiking again, joined a gym, reconnected with friends, even adopted a dog. And every time I hear a knock on the door now, I smile. Because the last time someone knocked, it saved me from spending another year with a woman who didn't deserve me. Final message. If your partner jokes about having a work husband or work wife, watch carefully. Sometimes it's harmless. Sometimes it's not. But in my case, it was the warning shot I ignored until the truth literally walked up my driveway holding roses. The truth always comes out. And sometimes it knocks.